hero in whatever capacity you can be right now. Again, it's going to take all of us doing our part. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
Charlie in Nutley, New Jersey has just given, speaking of New Jersey, and is getting the WNYC bucket hat. Charlie said, "We all need to hear unbiased news reports. It's part of the foundation of our democracy. There is no true democracy without it. Public broadcasting and independent radio is essential to maintain true American freedom in our way of life." You hear that? Just like Charlie said, WNYC is essential to maintaining true American freedom in our way of life. I know you agree with Charlie, but hey, guess what? Charlie stepped up and made that contribution, and we are counting on you to be like Charlie. What will it take for you to be like Charlie, to be the one that is our hero? The WNYC community is strong, and that is because of you. You know, we need your support. 888-376-9692 is the number, and you can also give it WNYC.org.
WNYC supporters include Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. Nathan Lane and Laurie Metcalf star alongside Christopher Abbott and Ben Allers, now on Broadway at the Winter Garden Theater. Limited engagement ends August 9th. Tickets at salesmanbroadway.com.
If you believe democracy requires a free press, your station is WNYC, 93.9 FM and AM 820, NPR News and the New York Conversation.
Marketplace is supported by BMC. BMC helps customers automate, manage, and optimize their complex IT environments. Learn more at bmc.com.
A Bond story was promised, a Bond story there shall be. We'll do energy as well, and sure, tariffs. Why not? From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering a small ship experience with a shore excursion included in every port and onboard cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. And by Odoo.com, offering integrated programs for sales, customer relationship management, inventory, and other business operations, designed to work together as a customizable software suite. Odoo, all your business on one platform. And by Wealth Enhancement, providing financial planning that may include retirement planning, investment management, and tax planning services. Information about comprehensive planning is available at wealthenhancement.com/build.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kai Rizdal. It is Wednesday today, the 20th of May. Good as it always is to have you along, everybody. If you have, like most normal people in this economy, not been paying a whole lot of attention to the bond market, I get it. Totally. But give me a couple of minutes here to bring you up to speed. The yield on the 30-year U.S. Treasury bond, yields, of course, the interest the government has to pay, hit almost 5.2% this week, as high as the long bond has been since 2007. That is news in and of itself. But if you pull back a little bit, you will see the United States is not alone. Bond yields in Germany, in the UK, and in Japan are at multi-year highs as the war and the ensuing energy shock and inflation continue to ripple through the global economy. There is a lot going on here. So we've called Nicole Cervi. She's an economist at Wells Fargo. Nicole, thanks for coming on. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
This is not a solely American phenomenon. I talked about the 30-year up in the introduction. But things are happening globally. And I want to start with what happens when rates go up like this, yields, like on the whole planet.
Yeah. So if you're an investor looking for yield, that's a great thing. But if you are a government trying to issue debt, not so great of a thing.
Yeah, say more. I mean, money is more expensive, basically, right?
Yes. And so when we were talking about sovereign bond yields, what we're essentially talking about is the cost of borrowing. And so with the cost of borrowing going up across the globe, if you're issuing debt, it's just going to be more and more expensive to do that. And this comes at a time where no matter what advanced economy you're looking at, the fiscal outlook is daunting because of a variety of factors. And if I need to issue more debt, my interest expense is only going to go up exponentially if the cost of that debt is also rising.
I saw a great line in a newsletter, I think yesterday, and I would credit it if I could remember. But the quote, which I wrote down, is too much debt, too little fiscal discipline, and no appetite for fixing either. What do you think?
I think that's generally right, but I also think it depends on the country you're talking about. You have some countries across the globe that are, let's say, more into fiscal austerity and more willing to take on that fight than others. For instance, even if you look in the Eurozone, the fiscal outlook for, let's say, France and Belgium, their leverage ratios, they're projected to continue to rise. But if you look at a place like Spain or Italy, they've actually already gone through some pretty tough corrections in this regard, and they're actually making progress towards lowering their debt burdens. And so it depends on the country that you're looking at. But in general, I think that is a true statement.
Can you help me understand why this seems to be sort of in the last, I don't know, couple of weeks-ish? Yields seem to have gotten a whole lot of attention because they've been going up so much. And I guess my question is, the energy shock's been going on for, let's see, February, March, April, May. I mean, it's going on 3 months now, and the bond markets are paying attention now?
Yeah, so I think some of that has to do with just bond markets were kind of waiting to see the duration of this energy price shock. So initially you're going to get a shock, and we've seen that already in crude oil and gasoline. But let's say that this conflict magically ended 4 weeks in, then that shock would have truly been transitory in nature. That's that scary word, transitory.
I was just going to say, gutsy move, man. Gutsy move.
Gutsy move. I try not to say it too often. But what we've seen is this conflict hasn't proven to be transitory, right? It's actually stuck around. And so what that means is that inflation is just going to be all that more persistent. You're going to see higher transportation costs bleed into other areas of your economy, like food, like other goods, retail, things like that. And so now you're seeing that the bond market is reacting to that. We're not just going to get a blip in inflation. It looks like the overall path of inflation is going to be a little bit higher.
There is a growth risk here too, yes?
Yes, particularly for economies that are really reliant on imported oil. I would say the United States in particular is not in that situation, but many economies across the globe are.
All right, bring it home for me. There is a mythical person in Ottumwa, Iowa, who I always have in mind when I ask this question, and you're the lucky winner today on this question. If I am going about my daily life in Ottumwa, Iowa, why does this matter for me?
Yeah, this matters for you, I think, in particular, going back to what we're talking about, just not even the inflation, so your prices are going to be rising, but the fiscal situation of the U.S. government. If you think about, again, rising interest costs, that's just going to make our interest expenses rise even more. And if you look at the share, the composition of the federal budget right now, we're actually spending more on just interest expenses, financing costs, than we are on national defense. And so the more that we have this growth in interest expenses, the less the U.S. government can afford to spend on particularly discretionary categories. So think about education, other infrastructure, things like that. And so that is how you bring it home here, is you want to have your fiscal situation under control so that you can continue, the government can continue to support those critical areas of the economy.
Nicole Cervi, she's at Wells Fargo. Nicole, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do the numbers. Dow Industrial's up 645 points today, 1 3/10%, 50,009. The Nasdaq climbed 399 points, about 1.5%, 26,270. The S&P 500 added 79 points, 1 1/10%, 7432 there. Kelly Wells was talking about utilities. Well, here you go. First Energy operates across several mid-Atlantic and Midwestern states, up 0.8%. Portland General Electric, that's Oregon, not Maine, up 0.9%. American Electric Power, with customers in 11 states, was essentially flat. Bond prices, well, thanks for asking. They rose. Yield on the 10-year T-note down 4.57%. You're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Solidigm, offering solid-state storage solutions optimized for AI with higher capacities, greater speed, and energy efficiency. Solidigm, AI data infrastructure built on a solid foundation. Learn more at storageforai.com. And by The Economist, providing reporting and analysis on global politics, economics, science, and culture, covering international trends and emerging issues shaping the world today. More information at economist.com. And by Amazon Business. Amazon Business offers smart business buying, which uses AI-driven tools to perform time-consuming procurement tasks, helping to simplify complex processes and streamline workflows. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
I'm Brooke Gladstone from On the Media. Reality is what you can get away with. Author and futurist Robert Anton Wilson wrote that back in 1992 to say that reality is subjective. And yeah, we each of us do live in worlds of heroes and monsters of our own creation. But any hope for preserving our democracy, our freedom, lies in our shared reality, shaped not just by our convictions, but by facts on the ground. They're the best defense against the nightmare visions of hate and fear foisted by those with the power and determination to drown out the facts with the reality that they think they can get away with. I've been at this job for nearly half a century, and I've never seen such roiling chaos over science and justice, history, and every measure that we've ever devised to safeguard our nation's future. It's like every morning we wake up hearing the drums of war. But now we have to fight for the facts, defend them, broadcast them. And obviously, this being public radio, embattled, but still on the barricades, I know and you know, WNYC needs your help. Here's how you can.
I'm going to come hot right out of the gate here. We need your help, and we need it now. We are in the waning hours here of our spring pledge drive. I'm here with Luke Green. I'm Sean Carlson. So we're not going to hear from us on air after 7 p.m. tonight. That's when the on-air pitching of this pledge drive ends. And I'm going to be real with you. We have $16,000 more to go to reach our goal for this spring pledge drive. We are in a race against time right now with 20 minutes to go. Luke said earlier, be our hero. Stand up. Be heroes right now, each individually, all of us stepping up and doing our part. You will all be our hero in this moment by contributing what you can. If you can contribute right now, $16,000, I am calling on you right now to do that. I know sometimes I hedge and I say, well, think about it. I know it's kind of, it's a lot of money. If you do have that money right now, I am imploring you right now to be the one who stands up for WNYC right now in this moment. Okay, new update, $14,735. That's how much we need to raise in 20 minutes. We're going to do it. Let's do it together. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
Thank you to William in Brooklyn, Meredith in Bayville, and Eden in Rockville Center. They have all stepped up and supported WNYC this hour, and I'm challenging you to join them. Make that step just like William was able to do. Meredith and Eden, they made that step. Now it's time for you to make that step with them because we're counting on you, and that's how this works. WNYC is a listener, community-supported newsroom and public service. It only works when everyone pitches in to do their share. That's honestly how democracy works, too. It's a symbol. And as Sean said, we have about 20 minutes to go to raise $14,000. Our goal for this pledge drive was a little over $1 million, I think. And come on. We're going to do 9 days of this in a row and fall short by $14,000. Come on.
Let's do it.
I know you are out there. I know you support WNYC. I know you care about us and you want to support this station. And there's no better time than now to do so. All you got to do is pick up the phone, take a minute of your time max, 888-376-9692, 888-376-WNYC. If you don't want to talk to anyone, you can go to WNYC.org or the WNYC app and click on the donate button.
Hi, it's Juana Summers. You might know that NPR and the station lost their federal funding last year. That means it's a new era for public media. We're still here, and we're committed to serving you as our new chapter begins. Let's get to work to preserve this essential public service. Donate to this station today, and thank you.
All you have to do is call 888-376-9692, 888-376-WNYC. You can also give online at WNYC.org, and we are just under 20 minutes, about 17 minutes to go to raise that $14,000 number, exactly $14,735. And how about this? Let's say 14 people out there gave $1,000. Boom. The goal would be done right now. I know you're out there. This is New York. I know you're out there and you have the means to support this station. You care about WNYC. You value it. 888-376-9692. 888-376-WNYC. We need to hear from you online at WNYC.org.
Now, the Pledge Unit has told us that there is a bell that we have to ring if we hit that $14,000 goal in the next 17 minutes, and we so badly want to ring that bell. Let us ring the bell.
Let us ring the
please.
bell.
We so badly want to do it. We want you to hear it, to say that we've met our goal for the Pledge Drive. We're so close.
Sean will do a dance.
I'll do anything. Don't let us miss this goal by just a few $1,000s. Call, contribute now. Keep community journalism alive for everybody in our community. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Ryssdal. This next item comes with the perhaps helpful reminder that healthcare accounts for just shy of 20% of this entire economy. Told you that so I could tell you this. There's some new analysis out from the health policy nonprofit KFF that says by the end of this year, more than 5 million people could wind up dropping their coverage under the Affordable Care Act. That's more than 20% of total enrollees. Marketplace's Samantha Fields explains why and what it might mean for premiums and overall healthcare costs.
Going into this year, insurance companies knew a lot of people were likely to drop ACA coverage because it was clear that Congress was not going to extend the extra financial support many people had been getting to buy insurance on the marketplace. Matthew Fiedler at the Brookings Institution says they also had a good idea of who was likely to go without insurance.
Past experience shows that when premiums rise, healthier people tend to be the first to drop coverage.
And when lots of people, especially healthy people, do drop coverage, Jennifer Sullivan at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities says what happens next is simple economics.
If there are fewer people in the marketplace to spread risk across, then insurers have to charge those smaller number of people more in order to provide the services that they're providing.
They already are. ACA premiums are nearly 60% more expensive this year than they were last year on average. And with people continuing to drop out of the marketplace, Sullivan says they're likely to go up again.
So people are squeezed right now and could be squeezed even more next year.
People who get health insurance through an employer are less likely to see their premiums go up significantly next year. But Sabrina Corlett at Georgetown Center on Health Insurance Reform says hospitals and providers will likely see costs go up.
As more people become uninsured, they will forego necessary care, they'll skip prescriptions, and they'll get sicker, and they'll end up in the emergency room.
And hospitals will treat them, and in many cases will end up footing the bill for those who can't afford to pay.
And as those costs go up for hospitals, these uncompensated care costs, they have to be passed on.
And in many cases, she says, they will eventually be passed on to you and me. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
Making it in Hollywood is even harder than it used to be. From its most recent peak, that was 2022, there has been a 30% drop in employment for actors, yes, but also for carpenters and designers and the many, many professionals who work behind the scenes to put a production together. That is data, by the way, from the Labor Department put together by the Wall Street Journal. And since those jobs have been drying up, a lot of people in the industry have been working in a new kind of gig economy. Ruth Fowler is a screenwriter. She wrote in Wired the other day about her side hustle as an AI trainer. Ruth, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So as I said in the introduction a second ago, you are a screenwriter. How did it come to pass that you found yourself working as this thing that's called an AI trainer?
Well, the industry, as everybody knows, is really not going through a great time right now. It's really in flux. A lot of screenwriters are really suffering right now, and we're all trying to find different jobs, different ways to survive. So I was on a Facebook group with a bunch of WGA moms, actually, and somebody mentioned that they were working for a company called Mercor for $150 an hour as a writer. And I was like, okay, I'm going to look into that. That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, WGA, Writers Guild of America, of course. $150 an hour, not bad. But here's the question. What does it mean to be an AI trainer? What is that job?
It is probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had. Basically, they kind of advertise it as you can do this wherever you want. You can do it on your own time. But that means that you have to be chained to the laptop, because what actually happens is they release what's known as tasks at any time of the day or night. And often they kind of they hire way too many people. So people are just kind of scrabbling around like it's the French Revolution, like trying to get these tasks and waiting for hours. So what I found was I actually didn't have any life while I was doing it.
What kinds of tasks? What were you actually doing as you were chained to your laptop?
They were incredibly boring. Some of the tasks were kind of watching like a video, which was taken from Instagram, and transcribing every tiny little second of it. So the moment a dog barks, the moment a balloon pops. Other tasks, like I did a little bit of red teaming, which is where we're kind of trying to break the AI system. And that's like, it's ostensibly meant to be kind of a safety thing. But it kind of begs the question, like, why are we doing this now? Surely this kind of safety team issue should have been done before they released it to the public, you know?
Yeah. You spend a good amount of time in this piece talking about the other people who had wound up doing this kind of gig work AI trainers. Some of them, you know, Hollywood screenwriters looking for side hustles, and others just needing the money, I suppose, right? Who else is doing this?
It's such a mix of people doing this kind of work. I met a Harvard-educated doctor. I met a plastic surgeon from the UK who was in between jobs, a scientist, a librarian. There's a huge amount of people. I think the economy is not in a good place for anybody, and everybody is trying to pick up extra work.
You speaking of extra work, you analogize this work to, you know, sort of the next generation of waiting tables, basically, for would-be, you know, Hollywood screenwriters, actors, take your pick. Are you still doing it? Are you still having to do this kind of work?
I'm still doing it. At the moment, I am training as an EMT because my family is medical. I wanted to do something which was kind of giving back. And I kind of had this guilt around the fact that I was working for this system, which so many people hate, so many people are really upset by, and it's taking so many jobs. So I used the money and I retrained as an EMT, and I'm still a writer. I'm always going to be a writer. But the plain truth is that while the economy is so bad, I need something else. So I decided to do something which was actually going to do some good for people.
Ruth Fowler, screenwriter, also sometimes AI trainer on the side. Ruth, thanks very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Marketplace is supported by Fisher Investments. As a fiduciary, Fisher Investments is obligated to act in their client's interest. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. And by 3 Day Blinds. With more than 45 years designing, manufacturing, and installing custom window treatments in a range of styles, like motorized treatments for home automation. Online bookings and consultations at 3dayblinds.com.
This final note on the way out today. Back up to the top we go. One last observation from Nicole Cervi at Wells Fargo.
A lot of central banks care about inflation, and so that means that they're going to be more hawkish in their interest rate setting.
Speaking of which, the minutes of the most recent meeting of the Federal Reserve came out today. Herewith the money quote. A majority of participants highlighted that some policy firming would likely become appropriate if inflation were to continue to run persistently above 2%, end of quote. Policy firming, of course, means raising interest rates. The most recent headline reading we had on PCE, 3.5%, 3.5%. Also, and not for nothing, Kevin Warsh takes over on Friday. Our media production team includes Brian Allison, John Folke, Montana Johnson, Drew Jostad, Gary O'Keefe, and Charlton Thorpe. Alex Simpson is the manager of media production. And I'm Kai Risdal. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is 8 p.m.